Hello. Hello, hello. Okay. Let's see if I can invite you as a co host. Hello, hello, hello. No. Yeah, hi, Amelia. How are you? Hi.
Good. Hold on, I just gotta. Yeah, I'm all settled in. I think. Hey.
Okay, perfect. Yeah, it just takes a couple of moments because I feel the spaces still are in beta or something like that. So yeah, they worked just like that. You're more expert than me, anyways.
Oh, listen. The more you host, the more you used you get to these
Yeah,
things.
that's true.
I actually never recorded any space before, so kudos to you on figuring that one out.
I mean, honestly, it's really useless. I mean, you can record it, but it just stays on Twitter. So if you want to download it, it's another whole area of expertise. But we can talk about it in private. I can explain to you how you can do it. It's a pain in the ass, honestly. But anyways, it can be done. Hi, Alex. Hi, James. How? Hi, everybody. Retweeting round and round. Okay, I'm very happy to have you here. Finally, we've been in lots of spaces together, but actually never like co-hosted a space, which is amazing today.
Yeah, and actually it's funny because I've seen you in so many spaces. You are in the WellYou Discord, so thank you so much for being there. You're such an active member of the community. And then I realized at some point I never actually heard Marta's voice. I don't know what she sounds like, and she's like, "Really? I speak all the time." I'm like, "Really? You do? How do we keep missing this?" So it's so nice that we finally, we come closer now. We're always in each other's, environments, but now we get
Yeah.
to directly connect, which is really nice.
Yeah. Amazing, amazing. Yeah, I'm very happy to have met you in, the virtual. Let's say it's a metaverse somehow. So
Mm-hmm.
yeah, I'm very happy to have met you and your project. When I thought about this format, you were the one of the first people I thought about, and actually, so you're on episode three. Three is actually my magic number, so you
Oh,
it's that means something. So yeah, so we all, if people just click on your profile right now, I'm gonna pin some tweets also. Gonna see if they don't know you and the project, everything around WellYou NFT. But first of all, before diving into the NFT space, let's talk about mental health, because
mm-hmm.
there's a question we always ask when we interview guests, whether they're NFT, players in the space, or are entrepreneurs, artists, singers, actors, sports people, and it's what is mental health for you, and how do you take care of mental health daily?
So mental health is such an important topic and one that I'm extremely passionate about and could talk hours about. Mental health to me is one of the most, it's like the fundamental thing for a happy and healthy life. Physical health as well, but if you are also physically active, that also helps your mental health. So it's actually it all ties back to that. You have to take care of your mental health. For every person, that will mean something different. I mean, I can go a bit deeper into that in a sec, but everybody, I hope, comes to a certain point in their life where they realize um, the mental well-being or taking care of your mind, it is a thing, um, and everybody should invest time, energy into doing that, because not only are you taking responsibility for yourself, but you're also becoming a better person for other beings as well. If you take care of that, if you are able to find a way to understand your mind, understand yourself, learn how to deal with things better in life, you are actually making there a better and bigger impact on society than if you wouldn't. What I meant by for everyone, it means something different. Well, some people might be officially diagnosed with something, others not. Um, but either way, everyone has something to work with. you know, whether it's something specific like ADHD, depression, or anxiety, or maybe you just have a very, very unstill mind, or maybe, you know, it's just running all the time. You can't be still. That's also something to take care of. Two things that I have done in my life to take care of my mental well-being is, number one, I would say that this is now an 11-year journey. I'm very grateful to my partner, Adam, who introduced me to these things. I'm not sure. I've thought about it quite often. Had I stayed in Canada, I came to Berlin 11 years ago and I met him here. I often wonder what would have happened had I stayed home in Canada, because here he's a Vipassana meditator. He does these 10-day silent meditation retreats, and he volunteered at one for 13 months. He was, I think, one of the first long-term.
Which, Amelia, sorry for interrupting you,
Yeah.
but I want to say it's not so. If you are new to meditation, like, you don't need to do that. Like, you can
No,
do many
no.
different things. So
Yeah.
that is important to say, because I just finished a meditation course. I'm actually super enthusiastic about it, but it's actually, you know, not monk-like meditation, which is cool, but like not everybody is tailored and suited to
No,
that.
of
So
course.
I just wanted to say that. But
Absolutely. Yeah.
like kudos to him. Like I really am jealous. I mean, I think I want to be able to, but I don't know.
Well, I mean, okay. So I would say that almost everyone is like, you're able to do it, no problem. So don't, but you know, we're not going to make this into a Vipassana meditation space. I just wanted to mention that, like he's done these and then introduced me to them. Right. And that was that played a huge role on my mental health journey. Then he introduced me to psychoanalysis. And I have been always, I am someone who is open to these things. When it comes to self-development, I'm always open to try new things. And I think you should try different things, because it's the experience that makes the difference. You know, you may want to try things or learn, but if you don't try them, you won't know whether they make a change in your life, whether you benefit from them, etc. So psychoanalysis and meditation were definitely two ways of me going inside, and it's not easy. I've been doing an analysis for 8 years, and I had to unpack a lot. But I've read a lot of books, watched a lot of documentaries, and little by little, yeah, that's definitely what I used to work on. And I have suffered from anxiety and depression, so I know what those two things feel like. So I'm very compassionate when I hear this in other people. I know what has helped me, and I'm always very open to talk to anyone who would like someone to talk to, who will know what that's like.
Yeah, I think, I mean, first of all, I love that you shared your journey. Like, it's never obvious, you know, like I asked the question, but sometimes people are so vague because it's, you know, it's not easy. And first of all, this, and then, yeah, I mean, we always talk about the power of sharing, and that's even the reason why this space exists,
Mm-hmm.
because otherwise there would be no point, you
Yep.
know?
Yep.
So,
In
yeah.
fact, it was other people's sharing that gave me also strength, because you know, when you're in the deep depths of depression or something, and you're just not doing well, it's it you know, there's many different things that you can do, and even if it's just half a step. But one of them that helped me was looking at other people's stories, because I saw that they survived, they're still here, and then it made me feel like if they can overcome, I can do it too. And sometimes it just helped to know, what did they do? What was their actionable step? And that would give me inspiration to maybe try something. Maybe it's something that I wouldn't have come to or thought of. So sharing is so important, also because every single person is just human, and we all carry the same emotions in us. That range from rage and sadness to joy and bliss, you know, and everything in between. We all have the capacity to feel these things. It's completely normal. And just knowing that behind every single person, accomplishment, successful person, non-successful person, whatever it may be, there's a human being behind there that has their own insecurities. So, and when they share, they are helping so many people to help them understand I'm not perfect. I don't have it all figured out. I don't have all my ducks in a row. I'm just trying. I'm trying just like all of you. Every single day is a new chance to try again.
Yeah, indeed, indeed. And all this sharing and building that we're talking about brings us to the second question, which is about NFTs. How does your NFT story come around, and how does it connect with mental health? Like, where's the point for you? Where was the point, and how has it evolved somehow?
Yeah. So in real life before NFTs, and by the way, disclaimer, the NFT space lifted me from a dark moment because it's been a rough 2 years. COVID definitely impacted our business like deeply. Like you can find this on YouTube. There's a video about this. Deeply impacted us. We had 4 deaths in our family. So Adam and I are partners, and we had 4 deaths of friends and family passing away in 1 year and 6 months. So it was a lot. There were days where I just didn't I knew our vision. I still had the vision in our head. Like I still had it, but it was hard to wake up, guys. I remember it was the summer. The sun would be shining outside, and I just didn't see. I don't know. I was really burnt out. I had no energy. That feeling where you don't really even want to do anything, like you don't even have the energy to do anything against it. Working out will help you, and I just didn't have the energy. But then end of August, a friend told us about the NFT space, and I'll tell you in a second how we got there. And within 1 week, something clicked in my head. I said, what is this? What is going on here? Who are these people? What are these things? Art came back into my life, music, art, visuals, colors, meeting new people, which is something I love to do. So I just want to say this NFT community, you guys have given me so much energy. So I wake up, I don't want to go to sleep because I just want to keep going, but I know I have to sleep because then I need the energy to keep on going. But so I just need to say that. And how we got into the NFT space was Adam and I, for the past few years, we've been developing a science-based program for well-being, physical, mental, and social well-being. It's in an app. The app is in the App Store. You can download it. It's called WellYou Be Happy. It's also gamified, because working on yourself is difficult. Otherwise, we would all have a six-pack. So it's a fun game program where you prioritize your well-being. So well-being has always been so important to us. We actually met in the yoga studio, so that already tells you something there. Right? And how we got into the NFT space was in August, we had a phone call with the university. Since we're science-based, we do have contact with universities. And they discovered our app and they said, wow, we like what you do. Listen, we work with children who suffer from domestic violence. Would you consider creating a well-being program for them? And what they didn't know was that our vision was always to create more programs, specialized programs for certain demographics. So imagine WellYou for veterans. Are you kidding me? Helping PTSD victims with specialists, like that would be amazing. Or WellYou for seasonal affective disorder, or for pregnant women, or for the broken heart. Think of all the possibilities. And here we have an opportunity. Not only do we love kids, but we have an opportunity to create WellYou for children, to help kids that are in, abusive homes. So we just went, yes, of course. But we hit a roadblock because the university, the researchers went back to the, what is it called? The department with the budget. Oh my gosh, what are they called? I'm just for all of a sudden forgot what they were called.
Like the ministries or?
Sorry?
Which
enterprise department. So there, you go see what how much budget you have for things, and they came back and said we don't have the budget for this, and we didn't have a treasure chest lying around that we didn't discover yet. So we hit a roadblock, and then when we were talking to a friend, telling him our dilemma, he's like, I have an idea. You can look into the NFT space, and you can try to make this project happen with NFTs. And we said, NF what? And that's how
When was it?
So end of August, beginning of September. I think I would say begin like September 1st was definitely the day that we started full time on our project. And that's why you see the collection. It's called, the Courageous Children NFT collection. It's going to be our first. And with that, you see kids who are, engaging in activities because kids should play. They're dressing up in costumes. There are role models as well. There's a little mini collection within the collection of role models like Amelia Earhart or Michael Jordan or Beyonce, Frida Kahlo. So kids you could be the next Einstein if you have the right guidance in your formative years. So
Yeah, indeed.
yeah, that's how we got into the space.
Yeah, that's so cool. So, actually, for you, like connection, between NFTs and mental health was actually NFTs as a means to convey a message of like to create a community around the actual topic of mental health. But
Yeah.
the focus is not really the NFTs per se.
And by the NFTs per se, I mean, of course, we have like I'm just to make sure that I understand your question.
Yeah,
We had a social impact cause before, and we are hoping that NFTs can
yeah.
boost our
I-
efforts to continue
yeah,
those efforts.
yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
exactly.
So, yeah, because the question comes from, of course, if you think about artists in general,
Ah,
um,
yes, I see what you mean now.
that are into the NFT space, it's like, okay, I want to either create a community or just like find a way to sell my art, Like, and there's nothing bad about it. It's just a different objective,
Artists, I'm so happy that artists finally have a way to get properly recognized for their work, that you don't have to
Yeah.
struggle. You don't have to sell posters and merchandise just to make ends meet, to have space to do your art. And so I'm all for, like, I'm so happy that, and I'm discovering these artists of all kinds, musicians, artists and musicians, artists. My gosh, I'm forgetting all the other type photographers. Oh my
Yeah.
goodness. Oh, landscape photography. Like it's the I'm really discovering what I love. It's really I love I like landscape photographers, for example. I love nature. I love photography, and I just, oh my gosh, I'm so drawn to it. And these artists are really igniting in me an appreciation for art again, because it's been a long time since I had so much exposure. So I'm very grateful to them for that as well.
Yeah, I'm actually I mean, not surprised of you saying that, but like it's a thought that I realize now hearing it from you is actually living inside of me. I was actually living inside of me for the last couple of months because actually it's the same thing I'm feeling is again like we're giving somehow art in general like a new life,
Yep.
which is very, I don't know. It's kind of it sounds a little bit cheesy or it sounds, I don't know, pretentious somehow, but it's what it is. I mean, before that, I remember in my case, telling my mother, I was always good at writing, and I used to play. I still play, but like I don't really have time for that right now. Music, and I wanted to build a like creative career. Then I discovered an entrepreneurial, way of thinking things, and that's how I connected the two words. But like it was not something obvious. And I do remember people around me telling me, you're not gonna get not gonna live out of that. Like you need to pay your bills, you need to find yourself a job and everything. And with that, with what's happening in the NFT space, I'm not saying as a delusional, opinion that everyone is gonna make it and this and that. Like, yes, but if you put in the work and you do take care of yourself and your community, but the opportunity is mind blowing and it's way bigger and it's overflowing. Even people that really don't have their own projects yet, I don't, for example, but actually what I find myself thinking is like art is all over again. And musicians, for example, which are gonna be, I think, the biggest wave, like the biggest NFT wave in probably, I don't know, the next year or so. I want to help them. In Italy, nobody's talking about this, for example. And the situation in Europe is not exactly what we see in the US, for example, with NFTs. But it is a big deal. And somehow barriers have broken. So I don't
And
know.
let the floodgates open. Let the floodgates open. There will
Yeah.
be. You say that in Italy, it's. I heard something about NFTs being made fun of in the newspaper, in
Oh,
Italian
yeah.
newspapers.
Oh,
Yeah.
a lot. And actually, especially the music industry, I think
Hmm.
they're fearing it so much. Like they really are afraid.
But you
Um,
know what? We keep going, and then eventually
yeah.
they'll catch on. Look, we're all
No, no,
using.
of course,
Yeah.
of course.
Yeah.
It's just, I don't it's really being this early, sometimes we need to remind ourselves of that, because somehow we do feel a little bit even overwhelmed, like all the time in these spaces, everyone having their own project, their own thoughts, their own opinions, and their own wallets and everything. But there's lots, it's early. So yeah.
And how lucky we are to be here this early. I'm grateful all the time
Yeah,
to. I'm
it's
grateful
like
to our
being
friend.
early,
Yeah.
being early on Facebook or Insta, and
Yeah.
even better.
Exactly.
Yeah, yeah. So let's go back to mental health. Uh let's go a little bit deeper on how NFTs connect to mental health for you and the project. How do you think really NFTs can democratize the narrative around mental health? Whether change the narrative, increase access. Like you already touched on that, but like let's dive a little bit deeper on that.
So this is a big question, and I don't pretend to know everything, and I'm discovering this whole thing along with you guys, right? So, but of course, this is a very good question to reflect on. I do want to say first that I feel like mental health as a topic is becoming less of a taboo topic. Of course, it depends on where you are, where you come from. I mean, the media sources or what I read online. Maybe it's because the algorithm pushes me what I want to read, but
That's an echo chamber right there.
right, exactly. But in Germany as well, where I'm located at the moment, therapy is free if you have public health insurance. So there is a encouragement to it's not a taboo. Of course, it depends on who you speak to, what country you live in. So I'm so happy to see this trend happening. I am optimistic about it. But how mental health, how is it connected to NFTs? We're going to find out. So number one thing that I realized being in this space, it caught up to me and it was not good for my mental health. There are some really cool spaces happening at 3 a.m. and you decide to stay up and then you're a zombie the next day and then you just can't seem to catch up. And so that's not good. So this is where we definitely have to pull on the handbrake and take a step back and realize, what, there's always going to be something going on the outside, but I have to be responsible for myself and find that balance and see what works for me. And then you find your groove, right? When it comes to what is possible in this space for mental health, well, before I go to the positive, I do see a danger here of, like, let's say, for example, there are psychology or therapy being offered in the metaverse, or how some people say, I don't know how it's going to look like, whether that will be eventually healthy or not. I think the beginnings of anything is always, version one or the MVP of anything is always a little bit wonky, right? And then
As
little
it
by
should. As it should.
exactly. I mean, if you build fast, there's always going to be some sort of design mistakes, so to speak, and then you improve along the way, of course. So I do believe that there will be a day where mental health will be available in Web3, and it will have been iterated and improved upon, but the beginning might be a bit wonky because I'm not sure whether virtual connections can replace physical connections. There is something to say, if you go see a professional, which, by the way, I totally 100% advocate for. If you're ever considering finding a professional to talk to, whether it's a psychologist, analyst, therapist, psychiatrist, please do. And if you don't find the right person because you're not vibing with them, keep shopping. Like, keep going, keep looking. Like that, they're there for you. They are trained.
There's a fit somewhere, somehow.
Yeah, I'm so grateful to my analyst. My God, she's been with me for 8 years listening to my stories and all my stuff. You know how grateful I am to her? Like, this woman is trained to help me. That's her job. And but she's also a human being, which means if you don't vibe with them, then there will be someone else who will. So I don't know whether you can replace that connection, that in real life connection to another human being. I can't say, but I am excited about the possibilities and opportunities, real life or utilities, so to speak, with NFT projects. But I can't say more than that because I'm also learning with you guys.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Of course. Then we're gonna have a check-in in like 6 months and see how things have changed, right?
Exactly.
So I have a last question. I just wanted to say, if somebody in the audience wants to come up and ask a question to Amelia, just or say something, anyways, just raise your hand. It's tap the art at the bottom, and just there's a hand, like not waving, but like standing there, just like waiting to ask your question. So you feel free to come here. We have 5 to 10 minutes left. So my last question is even something that we always ask in interviews in the podcast, which is, if you could change, like you had a magic wand and you could change one single thing around the narrative of mental health in your area or in general that you're hearing around you, what would it be? What would you change overnight?
2 things. Number 1, the magic wand would make taking care of your mental health so obvious and normal, just like taking care of your body and going to the gym, right? Like the same way we all are encouraged, go to the gym, do your cardio, do your strength training. You need to, improve your muscles or, your physical. It should be that normal and that common sense to go and take care of your mental well-being, whatever that means for you, right? If it means going to a professional or not. Number 1. And number 2, if you do go and see a professional, it should be free of charge. Or free of charge or subsidized or something, but definitely not as expensive as it can be. In Canada, I think.
With that right now. And
say that one more time. Say that one more time, Marta. It cut out.
Yeah, we have a political issue with that in Italy right now.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but honestly, what we, like Parliament is discussing, but actually just a couple of regions, Campania, so the Napoli region, and Lombardia, the Milan region, right now have made like a law out of free therapy, or like not free therapy, but like bonuses.
Subsidized,
so yeah. But yeah, it's really it's really something that I feel we're so behind in that, so behind. It's like everybody has their own, I don't know, MD, like doctor, and people don't have their therapists, which is my
therapists have therapists, guys. Like
yeah, that's true.
It's true, and also especially after Corona. I mean, come on, like that was rough. Is rough, still going on. So, I mean, here in Germany, I pay for my insurance, and I forgot. I don't have the percentage. It's not too expensive, but it's definitely. I mean, it's depends on how much you make, right? But with this insurance, I get to first of all, I can get anything done. I don't have to worry, but also I can go and if I choose, do a therapy. There are rules, of course, and if you finish one, you have to wait 2 years until you can potentially apply for the next one, right? So it's not like you can just, But I mean, come on, the fact that you have that option in Canada, I would have never looked into that option, and So as hard as it was, the process, as hard as it is, it's never done. Or is it really ever done?
Yeah.
The process of self-discovery.
No,
But I'm
never.
so grateful that someone mentioned it to me, that I was open to it. I'm grateful to myself also for being open, because I learned a lot. I learned also the tools of analyzing, reflection, asking questions. Not all, some are hard to ask, but you keep going, and you every day is a new chance to try again. I like to think
Yeah,
that way.
and on that note, I'm gonna tell you when we because we're actually waiting for a couple of members of parliament to have on our podcast, but right now to discuss actually the topic. But they're actually voting for the next president. So
Wow.
it's a pretty busy moment. But when they're done with that, and it's gonna take probably a couple of weeks, but then we'll have them, and we're gonna see where it got stuck at a state level,
Very
at
cool.
a national level. But we're gonna see. Anyways, on that note, I don't see any raised hands. So I know you're super busy with spaces, as we all are.
I love them. I love
Yeah.
talking to people. I love
Yeah, yeah. No,
spaces.
I mean, yeah, and also listening like to people
Hmm.
building their own things, like it's super cool. There's
It's
always lots
awesome.
to learn.
Yeah.
And I just want to thank you for sharing, a little bit about the journey, and also your own journey, not only the journey, which is not obvious, as I said, and it's always super helpful. And if we can touch just like one soul, one person, I
Yeah.
think it is already something. So really, thank you so much for everything you do.
Listen, I just as an ending note, I guess I could go much deeper into my story, and if anyone ever and I think this is also the light at the other end of, or the positive side of the coin. If you've gone through hardships or dark times, then you're able to understand others who might be going through the same thing. So my message to anyone who's going through some darkness right now: hang in there. It's going to be better. Take little tiny steps. Reach out to someone. Talk to them, if you want, or just have them sit next to you. And if anybody ever wants to reach out to me, I'm there. So just hang in there and keep on going. That
Yeah,
would be my thing. Yeah. Ooh,
yeah,
I
yeah.
see a hand.
Oh, we have no. Yes, we
I
do.
know Lift. I remember meeting Lift a while
Hi,
ago. So
hello,
good to see you again.
hello. I
He's,
see him dropping
yeah. No, he's
100.
here.
Yeah, hello.
Oh,
You can have the mic.
all
Hello.
right. Good morning, GM Marta and WellYou, uh,
Hi, GM.
yeah,
GM.
for hosting the space. Actually, to I guess answer that question about the two things that we would change. Uh, I I
Hmm.
also I also live in Canada. WellYou, you're in Australia now. And,
No, I'm in
oh, you're in
Berlin.
Berlin. Wow.
But I am Canadian. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
So we had
Mm.
no idea as well too about like how you know um, uh, getting a therapist. Someone in my family is taking therapy right now, and we had no idea how it worked, and we didn't know that we can get a free therapist on recommendations from our family doctor, but the therapist can only do so much, and they have to refer you to like a um, I, I guess a not psychotherapy, or I guess who's the who are the ones that you speak with, like a psychologist and stuff like that, and those get really pricey. So I think
Mm.
that is a big barrier, and usually the only things the therapist can really do is just give you pills without you know analyzing your real needs. So I mean, one thing that I wish it was normalized is I've been watching a lot of Dr. Amen, who's a neural, right?
Right. David, is it
I
David
believe so.
Amen, you
That's
think?
correct. And,
Yeah.
and like what you said earlier about, if we're injured or we get X-rays, or we get checked on, and his argument has always been that if people are coming in for a for anything for their mental health, why isn't CAT scan or MRI normalized to see which parts of their brains respond or how they react, instead of giving people blind medications to use? And some people might not even need medications; they just might need the CBT. What is it? The behavioral therapy instead. You know,
Mm-hmm.
so I guess,
Yeah.
yeah, I think mental health is still quite new. 'Cause for myself, I mean, the last time I spoke with you, you was during NFT Global's space, and we were talking about ADHD. And I've only been and people on the spectrum, whether it's autism or ADHD as well too, is still considered mental health. And it's only because I've been exposed to following people on Twitter or Instagram who are advocates of it, and I had to self-educate and understanding that my brain doesn't work in a neurotypical pathway. All my life I've been growing up thinking that I wasn't good enough, or there must be something wrong with me. So it's just, I guess, it's still about the stigma and exposure of what is mental health. And I'm still learning that myself. Like, what does it mean to to take care of my own brain health, unlearning a lot of things. So I guess for me, what I would like to, well, not really change, but more about improve overall, is just more awareness of what is like mental health. We always, yeah, we hear on in Canada, or I guess maybe North America, we have something called like mental mental health awareness days. And what exactly does that mean? All of a sudden when the day's over, people don't want to talk about what's really going on in their head. um, or people might think that just because they're not, um, I guess, what do you call, clinically depressed, or just because they haven't been diagnosed, they think that they don't have a mental health issue. But mental health is just so much. It's more than just being labeled or putting a name on it. So, um, yeah. So that would be my take. But yeah, I think.
I mean, lived mental health is actually taking labels off, in my opinion. You know, it's like you know who you are, but then it doesn't make you any less or more. So these are just adjectives or names. It's like a part
It
of
should
the.
be as normal as I'm less flexible in yoga than
Yeah,
you. I'm less strong at the gym than it should be just so normal. Like it's like not like nothingness. It should be normal to take care of your mental well-being, right?
Thank you. Yeah. So, I mean, even right now, just for you both saying that, that's something I got to keep to be aware of now as well. I mean, I have a relative that's also bipolar and schizophrenic, but I didn't. We didn't know that until later on in life, and every time we've hung out, it's we just have it the same. Like, I just, because he's my cousin and he's one of my best friends, I don't treat him any different. But then all of a sudden we can just shift to his condition sometimes too. And it kind of reminds me as well too. It's like, oh, it's not, yeah, that's right, it's not just about stigmas, it's not just about labels, it's just being aware of our brain health. So yes,
Yeah.
so much for.
I mean, it's a part of him, right? That's a part of who he is, and if he can, be himself with very patient people around him, and part of understanding, mental health conditions in our loved ones is understanding how we can help them. Understanding, how what we can do to mitigate it a little bit. So it's a part of him. That's who he is, you know, and whatever we all could do, what you could do as a family member to make his life a little bit easier, right? If only, even if that means just being there and giving him space and understanding him, you know?
That's right. And what I just have gone from you as well too is you just sharing about mental health and awareness. Some people might be more flexible than others, and so that's what I'm also learning for my own mental health as well too. Like, how do I the way that I respond to certain stresses and I guess traumas, what are healthy ways to address and acknowledge what my brain is doing, you know.
Absolutely.
So yeah, so thank you for all the tips and the discussions that you're both sharing today.
Thank you, Lift. And just one thing I want to add to that. And how do we learn to act in a wholesome way and not react in an unwholesome way, right? That's also a skill. That's also a way to look at it. How do I learn to not make the stress more stressful, but, deal with it in a healthy way, right?
Yeah, and also for that, like, try mindfulness and then meditation. Like, I think it really helps, honestly.
For
But
sure.
but
Delay
yeah,
the reaction time.
yeah. No, I'm actually, like, I find lots of benefits, but I'm sure everybody has their own journey and needs at least to acknowledge there's lots of things to unstress about, including, stigmas and traumas and etc. But that would be a whole another episode. So thank you, Liv, for sharing. Really appreciate it, and thank you everybody for being here. Thank you, Amelia. I'm super jealous of you being in Berlin. I think I already told you this. I love that city. So please say hi from me.
I will.
And
I'll give Berlin a big hug next time I
yeah,
go outside. I'll hug a lamp pole or something
yeah, let's go.
for Marta.
That's cool. That's cool. And yeah, we'll keep in touch. Keep following WellYou. I actually forgot to pin the tweet. Oh my god, I'm gonna pin it right now. So for the recording, it stays there. Wait a
Marta,
moment.
while you do that, I just want to say two things. Number three, do you have any idea how many times the number three shows up in WellYou and in our programs? Everything.
Really,
That's
really.
Adam's favorite number, and it's like, we are a physical, mental, and social well-being program. We the three pillars of WellYou are essential training, personal to-dos, weekly themes. Like, it shows up everywhere. So that's
Yeah.
the other thing. And I also want to say that I'm so grateful to you for having asked me to be here today. I'm so passionate about the topic and just giving me the space to talk a little bit more about it. Thank you very much for having me here today.
No, thank you so much. And my birthday is on the 3rd of March, which is month number 3 on
Ah,
1993. So that's
that's your number. You got it.
yeah. Thank you so much. And this is going to come up in the podcast in a couple of weeks. And when it does, I will send you the link so we can all share. Meanwhile, for everybody else, if you missed the beginnings, or you tuned in later on, it will be in the recordings. It will stay in the recordings for 30 days in my profile. So thank you so much, everybody. And we'll chat on Tuesday, because on Monday I have my sommelier exam. So we'll
Good
chat on Tuesday.
luck. Good luck.
It's the second and last one, honestly. So, yeah, I think I'm done. And thank you, Amelia, and thank you, Lift, and everybody. And have a nice rest of your day. Bye.
Thank you. Bye, guys.